Today is day one of my 4-day trip into the wild mountains of Lone Pine. Got my buddy Dan in the back over there. He's in his Tundra. So it should be a pretty good trip. Today is going to be reward mine, and then we'll be staying in the Alabama hills. So for now, let's keep the drive going, and I'll catch back with you when I'm somewhere more interesting than this. We are someplace interesting now. We're gonna hit up reward, check that one out, and then continue on back towards Alabama hills. We're Dan right now. He's getting dusted out pretty good. Off into the mine. Truck's out there. Yeah, this is the main gathering point when you drive back here. Got the beer can chandelier, whole bunch of graffiti, whole building too. Right over here is another ladder up to the next level, as well as a ventilation pipe, it looks like. So, another, looks like ore chute ladder combo. That would be kind of sketchy, I would imagine. Climbing up a ladder, and here comes a rock. There's probably metal sheeting there before though. Yeah, that's pretty decent. That goes up, what, 50 feet? If you guys ever need this as a COVID-19 hideout, this is the safe room, so if COVID comes back again, just come on back here. We got plenty of space. Yeah, if we run out of room, you can just go up there. Yeah, here's the old drill bit still on the wall. Just left here, that's pretty cool. There's a little deposit of what looks like some kind of buildup of something back there, but very shiny, very cool. And there we go. That is delving into the reward mine. And it actually continues much further up the canyon. If you go up this road right here, this continues up the canyon. It's a single lane road as always, but it continues all the way up. It has a switchback right about there, and it takes you up to here. There's a guy who has
Jake, I'm off the brake. I'm in neutral. I'll let you take it slack.
All right, sounds good. Right, we're helping someone get towed out right now, so I'm gonna put it into a lower gear, and we're gonna kind of cruise them off to the concrete slab just up ahead and get them out. Crank position sensor went out, and that just completely shuts the car off, won't even turn on. So he is gonna be having a long night. He's getting a tow up to Bishop, but the tow truck's like 3 hours away, so off we go again towards Alabama Hills, right there. That's a problem. My buns! My buns are slipping. Oh, shit. First night is down. It was very windy, but good old propane heater kept me warm. Been coming in clutch. So now we just got the sunrise over the mountains. Dan got up much sooner than I did, MVP, so I'm gonna pack all this shit up and keep going. Alright, we are currently on the road heading over to Keeler, 13 miles away. We just pulled off 395. We're currently going up towards Cerro Gordo. So kind of an interesting area. I've never been on this side of Owens Valley before, so this is all new for me. About this area, we're currently in the Owens River Valley. The Owens River goes into, I believe, Owens Lake, and that at one point was one of the biggest lakes in California, and they were planning on Keeler being a vacation destination for celebrities. Well, the Los Angeles Water Department started buying up all the water rights, and when they made the LA aqueduct, they transferred all the water from the lake down to LA. And because of that, it's now just a giant dry lake bed and is the #1 cause of dust pollution in all of North America. I've seen it in person, and it's pretty intense how much dust that thing actually puts out. So the day that we showed up to Cerro Gordo, Brent was actually up north making a video in Gold Point, Nevada. Since there were other people staying at the bunkhouse, we didn't want to look like we were just snooping around the town. So after a quick walk around, we continued towards the Salt Tram. My advice to anyone going this way is to keep watch for others, especially right after leaving Cerro Gordo. There's almost a mile stretch of cliffside trail with no turnouts. This is one of the sketchiest roads I've ever driven on, so I'm putting the camera down and I'm gonna drive this, so bye-bye. Overall, the trail to the tram isn't technical or too rocky, but it did have certain sections that were very steep and off camber, pretty much ensuring I was death gripping the steering wheel half the time, especially on sections with snow. Down off the cliff to the right is actually where the Cerro Gordo Spring is, another location that Brent has checked out on his channel. I would be careful coming up here with a rig that is top heavy like a Jeep with a rooftop tent. These views are like truly amazing. After about an hour and a half of driving, we finally found the Salt Tram. This is actually an incredible piece of history most people don't know about. First being described back in 1864, the salt of Saline Valley was found to be one of the purest deposits of salt in the world. Wanting to capitalize on this untapped wealth, investors tried to find ways to transport the salt back through the Inyo Mountains to Lone Pine. In the first few years of mining, they used mule teams to transport it back across the mountains before eventually settling on building an aerial tramway. Being constructed throughout 1911, the Saline Valley Salt Tram used 1.3 million feet of lumber and more than 50 miles of cables. In the end, leading to the largest and most complex tramway ever built in the world, moving salt a total of 13.5 miles over an elevation change of 13,000 feet. While this allowed the transport of more than 60 to 100 tons of salt per day, due to the sheer operating costs of the system, it was never profitable, leading to multiple owners and inconsistent operations until 1933 when it stopped for good. That is what we get to see today. Only the remains of what used to be one of the most impressive feats of modern engineering the world has ever seen, sitting alone atop a distant ridgeline. I've been wanting to come up here for years. I found it on Google Maps initially, and ever since then I've just wanted to check it out, so I'm glad I finally was able to get the chance. Over here is a BLM cabin you can actually rent. Right down there. You can rent that cabin and stay overnight. This is a really cool shot. You can see it going all the way down the mountain range in a straight line. Down the Keeler, I think. Swansea, there we go. But yeah, it's about hour-and-a-half drive to get up here, I would say. No, 2 hours from the main road, definitely. 4-wheel drive and high clearance required. Let's see if we can get down underneath into the wheelhouse. Ooh. Let's get this off of here. I thought these were support beams, but they're like, I wonder if the cables ran through these. That would make sense. Dan, what you think?
It's wild.
It's wild.
It's wild.
After checking out the tram, we decided it was too windy to try to camp on the ridgeline, so we started heading back down the trail to find a spot in the Alabama hills again. We're stopping for a bit. Dan's brakes overheated on the downhill portion of it. That is definitely the steepest trail I have ever taken this truck on, and I don't know if I will be doing it again. The amount of off camber and then vertical was unenjoyable, to say the least. I mean, it can definitely be done. It's doable. I did it in this, and I don't even have any special, I don't have any crazy modifications. I just have like a 3-inch lift and 33s, so Tacoma or any truck on 35s will have no issue with this. It's just be careful if you have a top heavy load. If you have like a rooftop tent that's on top of the cab or even higher, then that will definitely be a questionable build to be taking up here. But right now we're in the kind of the canyon that connects Cerro Gordo to the tram. So we're just hanging out while his rotors cool off. After getting back down to Lone Pine, we found that literally every spot was taken in the Alabama hills. Luckily for us, I know of another secluded spot on BLM land that most people don't know about. Once there, we set up camp, got a fire going, and knocked out for the night. The next morning on our way out, we spotted one more mill site that I had to check out with the drone. That's gonna be the end of this trip as we headed down south to SoCal. I hope you guys enjoyed, as I did 4 more trips this past summer, the rest of them with all my new equipment. Catch you guys later.